that you couldn't really fly a helicopter. Otherwise, I would have came up with a different idea. I told you it was a bad idea.
Listen, honest to God, every time I sit across from you, I get thrilled because of just how much your movies have, like, how many I've watched and enjoyed, and I just want to say thank you for everything you do.
Well, thank you, Steve. Appreciate it.
I want to also say congrats to you for not crashing the Ferrari.
Thank you. That's good. Appreciate it.
So one of the things that just I couldn't believe about this film is how much practical you did. I'm so done with CGI and just the overbearing CGI. I loved what you did on Wilshire Boulevard and at the police station with the helicopter, everything. So how tough was it to do all this practically in LA where nothing is being filmed in LA anymore?
Yeah, it's much harder to do it that way, but I was very adamant from the start that I wanted to make the danger real. I think I agree sometimes these there's so much CGI these days that everything's so over-designed and there's imperfect that you don't feel that danger anymore. And I look back at those films, the original, Beverly Hills Cop 1, Beverly Hills Cop 2, and a lot of action from the 70s and 80s, and the danger is so much more apparent, But it was difficult, especially on location in LA, flying helicopters through streets, everything. It was much more difficult. But I'm glad that when you watch the film, you can feel that. You feel that there. Yeah. So. As
the producer, can you talk a little bit about the challenges or how it was actually securing all this and getting being able to film in LA?
They want you to film here. Our film communities here, unfortunately, it's more expensive. So you have to convince the studio to spend the extra money to make it real. And Netflix was very terrific about that. They understood the importance of getting this right and being in Beverly Hills, being in California. So it was a real pleasure to get it right, and they're the ones who wrote the check, so we got to thank them.
I also would like to thank Netflix. One of the things, though, and you know this about me, but and you know this about me too, I love talking about the editing because it's ultimately where it all comes together. So can you talk a little bit about what you learned from early friends and family screenings or test screenings that impacted the finished film?
We had the tone of the film right, we learned there's sort of some areas that we could improve on, but we learned that we learned that the fans loved it. Do you know what I mean? That was one thing. The fans really embraced it. So we wanted to hold on to that, but we also took a lot of learnings of how new people are coming into it and how we bring new people into the franchise too. Yeah.
Were there any big changes or certain things that you guys debated over that ultimately, you know what I mean, like an early screening pointed you in the right way?
Yeah, always. You using contrition. You find that some scenes you don't need them. They're repetitive. The audience wants to move on. They get it. They're a lot smarter than we are. So, they always raise their hand and catch our mistakes. And so that's great when they do that.
Talk a little bit about what shot or sequence did you two debate over the most?
I don't know, Jerry. What was it?
I think the toughest one is the helicopter one. I think that was the most dangerous and worrisome for all of us to get it right. He wanted to do it in camera, and we supported him for that. And we had to get through the city. We had to get through city of Beverly Hills. We had to have the shop owners, everything to sign off that we could take over the streets. And also, when I say dangerous, it's only dangerous because of the telephone wires and the electrical wires when helicopters get so low, and wind shifts and all kinds of crazy things can happen. But knock on wood, it's really exhilarating on screen, and then we got through it with no problems.
This is your first time making a big budget Hollywood movie. What actually surprised you about the process that you really didn't think about going in? And Jerry, I'm obviously a huge fan of the Pirates movies, and I know there's been a lot of talk of what's going to happen next. So as of today, at this moment, where are we at in terms of another Pirates movie?
We are working on it. Jeff Nathans is working on a script. We have another one we have two, and we don't know who's going to win the horse race at this point. But hopefully in the next month I'll have a script, and maybe Disney will want to make it.
I'm confident they will. And for you.
So this is not just my first big Hollywood film, this is my first film. So it's my first film. And I think one of the big, not things that surprise me, it's just the magic you get when you get Eddie Murphy, Kevin Bacon, Joe, these guys on screen together, and you watch that unfold in front of you. As a first-time director, I was just in my happy place. And, it's just wonderful to watch amazingly talented people like that come together and share the screen.
On that note, I really want to say congrats, and I know it's going to be a huge hit on Netflix.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.